Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. We're into a new
Yes,
year now. How
I
about that?
know.
2024. Hope everybody had some great holidays. And I'm still hungry. So we were talking about desserts earlier, and I thought, well, okay, let's talk a little bit about, some desserts we like, some we don't like. You know, a lot of them are overpriced, but
Huh.
sometimes you get that sweet tooth and you got to have
Yeah.
something. You got a favorite dessert?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, like if you were to like ask me that question, I don't know. I mean, I've eaten so much over the past couple months that I'm not in that like new year, new me phase, but I'm in that like back to normal. Let's bring the eating down to a controllable level.
Yeah.
Um, that sort of phase. I love desserts, man, but I mean, when I think of it, probably because we just had the holidays, for me, it always takes me back to the good days of going to my grandma and papa's house and getting some amazing cannolis. Oh my God. That's just my jam right there. I mean, I eat one, two, and take two more home, eat one on the road, which is a mess, and then eat one maybe for breakfast, like
Yeah. I think I mean I agree with you. There's something about if your grandparents are still around, that's cool. But if you've got older relatives that pass down recipes,
yeah.
around the holidays, I mean that's what I do. I make
Yeah.
my mom's apple pies,
Mm-hmm.
from her recipe. I got a pumpkin pie recipe, and I
Yeah.
enjoy doing that. And get to January, put it on the shelf. I could probably go the rest of the year without the pies and some of the
Me
cake.
too. Me too. Like, and because it becomes part of your tradition. It becomes part, and it also gives you something to look forward to. And let's be real, we don't need to eat cake every night.
Right.
But I do love a good cannoli. Man, I tell you what, probably Luke's fault, really. Um, I love ice cream, and I love getting. I mean, I can go with it. Like in a different world, if Luke wasn't here, I would probably buy ice cream maybe once a year. But now that he's here and he's been here,
Right.
uh, and we don't eat it every night, but it is fun to get like different ice creams. And like we'll make our own sundaes, or like we make our own milkshakes for St. Patrick's Day. One of our biggest traditions is going to McDonald's to get the Shamrock Shake. It's like the best thing they do if
Right.
their shake machine is working. Um, and it's so weird. I usually call the McDonald's we're going to, and I'm like, "You guys, is the shake
Yeah.
machine working for real? Like, don't mess with me, man." But we also on this St. Patrick's Day itself, we made our own Shamrock Shakes, and it was super fun. We put like pieces of mint on top, and that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. And I agree with you. You go out and you get like a gallon of vanilla ice cream and you leave it in the freezer, and it's like there all year. And every once in a while, you take a scoop and you put either sprinkles on it or you put drizzle some chocolate over it. But then when we get here in Texas, when we get to like July and August and everything, the places that have Italian ices and ice
Yeah,
cream. I mean, there's lines around the building waiting to
yeah.
get ice cream, and I guess it goes with the heat of the season.
Yeah, you don't really want ice cream in the middle of February, but then again, you know what? It's not like our winters are brutal, so um, I'll do it. The great thing too is, and also the bad thing is, so you get those. What are they? Half pints, the small ones. What are those? Is that what they are? Or a pint? I don't know
Yeah,
what it
the
is.
the cup things.
Yeah, it's like this big. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be for two people. You can do it yourself though.
Oh yeah.
And I have, but I love doing that at work because work has some amazing ice creams that they make themselves. So, and it's new flavors. So, like for the holidays, we had like eggnog, and then we had candy cane, and it had like crushed up candy cane in it. And I'm like, oh my God. But there are always some new flavors, s'mores. So, like Luke and I, like if it's been a while, I'll just grab one of those and surprise them. And it's cool because you're not paying the price. It's really inexpensive, and then you don't have that temptation of like well, it's midnight and I'm on my third episode of the show I just started. Let
Right.
me dive in and kill it, you know. But
Yeah.
I do like ice cream. I do. Some fruited desserts are fun too. You know, there's some great fruit stuff out there.
There were here, I know, and around the country, there were some ice cream shops. It was like an ice cream buffet. You go in, you pick out a couple of one scoop, two
Oh
scoops,
yeah.
three scoops, and then you go to this bar and you put, crushed up cookies and crushed up candy
Yep.
and all kinds of sauces and cherries and fruits and stuff like that, and make your and I don't know why some of those just didn't make it. Maybe it was just
Well,
the over.
it's overcrowded too. Let's be real. Like there's a
Yeah,
ton of options. It is expensive when you get to that route, but
yeah,
then you got to do it right. You got to say, okay, if you have this, what makes you different than the other one? You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Luke and I used to go to this place at the old apartment. It was this froyo place, and we'd get some froyo, and they would have like happy hours. Like, you know, you go on a Tuesday and you get a scoop of froyo for like half the price, you know?
Happy
So
hour for ice cream.
I'm like, bro, let's go. It was a cheap thing to do. Plus, he was
Yeah,
in that, he was like 3.5, 4. So it was like, I could get a scoop and a half and it was enough for, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but they had the whole buffet putting on crack, you know, crumbled
yeah.
up graham crackers, gummy bears. And it was actually really cool. That place is still around. And again, it's frozen yogurt. Yes, when you load all that crap on, you might as well be eating a gallon of ice cream. But when you have dessert, you're not thinking about it. You know, you just want a good dessert. And I like simple desserts too. I like a real good cookie.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. You had we've got a couple of homemade cookie places. I mean, one of them that we've got here in Texas, and I don't know if it was whether it's a franchise, Tiff's Treats.
Yeah, I got one. I got those twice in my life from somebody. And
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
Tiff's claim to fame is that they make them hot, fresh. You call up and you say, I want to deliver a half a dozen cookies to so and so, and they deliver it in a van that is heated. And
yes.
you get a box of cookies, you open
Oh
it
my
up,
God.
and number one, the aroma will knock you backwards. But they're the soft, gooey kind of cookies, and they're really good. And there's a lot of those just cookie shops that all they serve is cookies, just like Cinnabon, or here they just opened a place called Cinnaholic, where you go in and you get a cinnamon bun, and then it's like an ice cream place. You go through a buffet and you put all kinds of garbage
That's
on top of your
that's
cinnamon
way
bun.
too much for me, man. No, 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 no.
Oh
I'm
my
not into
God.
that. I'm not into that.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
too much.
that's overload. It's
Well,
overload.
because how many people like, here's my thing with that. How is that going to last? Like, how many people go there on a regular basis to get, I mean, even Cinnabon has fallen by the wayside. So,
Right.
how many people want a cinnamon roll with loaded goo on it all the time? Like, you can get away with cookies. But like cinnamon rolls are big, man. Like, you eat a couple, like,
Right.
they're, oh my God, you know?
Yeah, what Cinnabon I think has done is didn't they merge like with that Annie's Pretzels or something,
I
and
think they did.
you
Yeah,
go in the
yeah.
mall and now it's a combo location.
The thing with the pretzels, which I love, I'm a pretzel holic. I don't consider that a dessert, but I love soft pretzels. Like you got a soft pretzel, and I'm not talking like micro magic. I
Yeah,
want like the real deal. One of the best things about going to Oktoberfest is the great pretzels. So I'm a sucker at the mall for those when I go.
you
I
usually have at
want to,
sporting events too.
yes, yes, like sporting events. FC Dallas has them.
Yep.
But I love getting like a big pretzel. I always thought that they should have those like German style pretzels, like from Oktoberfest at the mall, but you can get a beer with it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
give me a good beer so I
yeah.
can sit
That,
at
that
the
would that would
mall.
be the combo meal.
Yeah,
Pretzels and beer.
why not? Like, geez, I gotta watch. I mean, the mall makes me want to drink anyway. It's
Yeah.
insanity. So
Do you dip your pretzel in anything?
it depends. I hate mustard. I can't stress that enough. I hate it. Uh, Luke loves it, so we get a lot of it.
Yeah,
Um, but I will try, like, if there's different mustards, I'll still try it.
yeah,
But it depends. Like sometimes they have some cool sauces and some like you get some beer cheese or something like that. That's a good one.
That's the one. The cheddar cheese, melted,
If you know,
hot cheddar cheese.
you
Dip that.
like
Excellent.
the Holy Grail in Plano off of Preston Road. Been there for years. Great craft beer bar, good food, good whiskey actually, and scotch.
Yeah.
They have a pretzel and it's huge, and they make like 3 different cheeses, and one of them's a beer cheese. I think they use Guinness. Maybe not. I don't know. It's been so long, but they do all these, and one's a real spicy one. Man, that you
Yeah.
get that, and you're hanging out. And it's a dark place. Oh my god!
Did you know that there is a dessert shop that's not far from us over in Plano? It's called Better Than Sex.
I've heard of that.
I mean, just the name of this dessert shop would be enough to want you to go. Just to,
Like I want to go and I want to get something and go. Yeah, yeah. You know what? You
yeah,
got me there. You're right, especially with that last one. You know.
that's right. You know, I'll this is a place that I'll think you probably remember, and I have not found anything to compare. I like to watch when they hand make stuff, but Mackinac Island fudge,
Mackinac, come on, man.
Mackinac Island, the
Killing
fudge.
me over here.
They make it, fresh while you're walking around the island. You know,
Phenomenal.
there is absolutely no, there is a place in McKinney here that does a fudge the same way they do up in Mackinac. But just like Cold Stone Creameries and everything, where they used to fold the ice cream and make it with all the ingredients and all. And there's, you forget what fresh made stuff is all about.
I like, yeah, the Mackinac Island fudge is a different level because number one, look at the environment you're in. I mean, that's amazing by itself.
Right.
You're on an island in the middle of a lake that might as well be an ocean.
Yeah. No cars.
No cars,
Oh,
horses
no
and bikes.
Yep.
Beautiful. God, I love that. I love that place. The fudge is delicious. It's so good. Founders Brewery in Michigan did a variation on one of their beers, and it was KBS. No, CBS. Was it? No, that's Canadian. KBS, Kentucky bourbon stout, and but they did a Mackinac Island fudge version of it. So they used Mackinac fudge. You open that beer and you could smell the fudge. It was so good. I saw a place, Luke and I were camping, and we went into this little tiny town somewhere in Texas, and they were making the fudge, and it reminded me of Mackinac, but there is something about it. I mean, they're like, one thing I don't like is I don't like donuts, really. I'm not a donut guy anymore.
No?
After you've worked in a donut place and you've made them, you don't want them. I'm not saying that I never get them. Luke and I are going to do Donut Friday actually coming up this week.
Yeah.
And I always usually just get a kolache and some donut holes, but I just don't do them anymore. And we've got some amazing donut places. Now we've got Voodoo Donuts finally hitting Dallas. And I think that people are going to be, if you've never been to Voodoo, be ready because it's amazing.
Well, and I mean, Krispy Kreme has just made a fortune off of one kind of donut, just a plain glazed.
I don't get it.
Donut.
I don't get it. Like, I'm not putting anybody down that likes glazed. I understand.
Yeah.
But like when you go to some of these other donut places that do all these fancy donuts and you buy a glaze, I'm like, why don't you just go to Krispy Kreme? It's cheaper.
Right. And I mean, I prefer a cake donut rather than a yeast donut anyway.
Do you? I was
Yeah.
wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I could see both. I like a good yeast donut because it's a little bit lighter and you can eat more.
Yeah.
But there's something about the cake donut if the cake is real soft and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, give me an apple fritter or something. Oh.
Yeah, fritters are good. Fritters are good. They make blueberry fritters. Those are good too.
Yeah. But now what about candy? I mean, we got a place here in Frisco called Paparella's that makes popcorn, I mean, like 40 different flavors of popcorn. Who had ever thought you could get flavored popcorn? But popcorn and candies, reminds you of the old candy shops that you grew up with, the penny candies where for $1 you'd walk out with a paper bag
sack
full of stuff.
I like candy. I like candy. M&Ms are my classic
Yep,
go-to.
yep.
Um, Peanut are my least favorite, but I'm not turning them down. I love M&Ms. I'll kill the whole bag. Reese's peanut butter anything is my jam. Um, yeah, I like candy, and I like good. Just like take it away from the name brand store stuff. The good chocolates, the salted caramel chocolate drops, like those, like a good candy store. Yeah, I'm into that. I could do that.
Yeah. So, well, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to go down to the candy shop right now and buy a bag of something. Except that dollar's worth of candy you used to get as a kid is now $25.
Hey, look, when Luke and I went to Vegas and we
Whoa,
went to the M&M store, it's like 3 levels. Whole thing's dedicated to M&Ms, okay? They have
really?
M&M. Yeah, it's amazing. They have M&M. We went at like 11 o'clock at night. Like we walked the strip because I wanted to show Luke the strip, but I also got a 5-year-old at the time. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Go to
So I took him
Circus
to,
Circus.
nah, I ain't going. Nobody's going to that. You get stabbed down there. Um, but they're not even around anymore, are they? Are they closed?
I don't. I don't
Jeez.
even know.
Um, but so I took them to the M&M store, and the first level is like merchandise and packs of M&Ms. You go up to the next level, and it's almost like an M&M type style museum. Over the years, it shows like commercials, and there's still, you can always buy candy. The third level is where it's at, and it's a giant wall, and I say giant, I'm not exaggerating, of M&Ms on the wall where you go make your own bag and make it like bulk candy. But what's cool about it is they've got M&Ms you've never seen before, like
Flavored?
different, completely different flavor, peppermint, double chocolate, s'mores M&Ms, like all kinds of M&Ms. Then they've got different colors, like these M&Ms have glitter on them. These M&Ms are hot pink. Then they have like the duds that are a little bit cheaper, where they came out a little weird and the M wasn't on there. You can personalize your own M&Ms and write your
Yeah.
initials on. Luke and I spent, no joke, because we were just going through like dropping the M&Ms. I spent $22 on M&Ms. Now the cool thing about it was we snacked on them on the way back home. We snacked on them in the hotel, snacked them on the plane, and then then I don't know what's going on with my social media, and then the cool thing was I have a little M&M. It's like this big. It's like almost like a desktop M&M old school dispenser. It was my
Oh yeah.
grandma's. Yeah, and when my grandma would only fill it up for me, like she said it was for everybody, but I'm the only one that ate it. So I'm going to say it was for me. And then when she passed away, I got it. So I still fill up the M&M dispenser, and every now and then Luke will come by and drop it. But that was really fun too. I mean, I didn't care that I spent almost $25 on M&Ms. Yeah.
Right. That reminds me of Jelly Bellies.
Mm-hmm.
Jelly beans that
He loves those too.
I mean, I think wasn't it President Reagan or something that put those on the map because he was a big Jelly Belly
Jelly Belly. Yeah.
fan and all. And I mean, there was maybe 100 different flavors, and you think how could they come up with that many flavors? But they did.
They did. Yeah.
Well, hey, folks, hope you enjoyed this, and I keep thinking about my dentist. The dentist is probably saying, "Yeah, yeah, play that show over and over again.
Oh, yeah. Get
Get
that
more people to
money.
eat all those sweets, man. That'll fill my chair."
Funny stuff.
So, well, go out and make it a good one. Stop at the corner store and pick up some candy or donuts or whatever on the way to work, and then come back and see us again next Tuesday. All right.
Hey, guys. All right.
See ya. Bye.